Hi, this is Emma Willis.
And I'm Helen Cristoni.
Welcome to our Make Time podcast. We are two women on a mission to uncover the secrets of making time for everything.
From work and relationships to our brain, body, and beauty, we'll explore it all and share it with all of you.
We interview experts so we can discover more practical tips to make time so we have more time for our family, friends, and ourselves.
So join us as we chat with incredible guests who share their expertise on all the ways we can learn to make time, especially for you.
Okay, it's time to make time. Hey everyone, it's Emma, and welcome back to the Make Time podcast. Today we're joined by someone whose honesty and humor I absolutely adore, Renee Boccasile, the creator behind Renee Keeps It Real. If you follow her on Instagram, you know she brings a refreshing mix of real talk, affordable style, and everyday mom moments to her community of more than 23,000 women. What I love most about Renee is her mission, inspiring women to show up for themselves, whether that's lifting weights, tending to their mental wellness, or simply finding joy in the small things. In our conversation, we get into what authenticity really looks like, how honesty strengthens our relationships, and why prioritizing your mental well-being isn't optional, but it's essential. We also talk about confidence, boundaries, and making time for what truly matters. So let's make time for Renee. Hi, Renee, and welcome to the Make Time podcast. We are so excited to have you here.
Good morning. I'm super happy to be here.
Renee, can you tell our listeners and our viewers about you?
Sure. I am really an everyday girl. I am a mother of three that is in her mid 40s. Let's call it late because that's realistically where we are. I'm a wife. I am an entrepreneur, and I'm just a person out here trying to keep it real and be honest and have a good time doing it.
I have to say, I follow you on social, and I really appreciate the keeping it real part. And I really just love your content. So, and I don't have a lot of time, but when I do make time, I just find you uplifting and really like every girl's girl, like you said. So thank you for putting out such like positivity and realness out there.
I appreciate that. I only know how to be myself. And so that's how I try to show up every day in this little tiny internet space that I've got a platform on.
So let's talk about it. So why is it so important that women keep it real?
I think that if we want to be able to forge the truest form of a relationship, whether it's a relationship with our family, a relationship with our friends, a relationship with our coworkers, we have to do it through honesty. And honesty comes in all kinds of forms. It's not just the light and airy and the telling people what they want to hear. I really think that it's when we get a little bit uncomfortable that we actually grow the most. And so I'm not afraid to be the person to say the things that everybody else is probably thinking, but maybe don't have the confidence to say, or that have a little bit of kind of fear built in. And so I really just try to be representative of, again, that every day, every woman. And I'm hoping that in being able to do it in a slightly public platform, it's giving people a little bit more courage to be able to have honest conversations to help to move relationships forward.
Have you always been just like that? Have you always been able to just, okay, call it like it is, say it like this?
You could interview my mother on this one. I'm the loud one. I'm the blunt one. And listen, sometimes I make mistakes. Sometimes you don't read the room and you just kind of go. And then I have to figure out how to not reel it back per se, but just how to recognize that sometimes I get it wrong. And then when that happens, you have to be woman enough to be able to go, hey, I may not have handled that perfectly. These were my intentions. And then to let that truth, which is still keeping it real, be known, and then to be able to move forward with it.
I think that we're in such a, I don't know how we even got here, but just as a society, like we all walk on eggshells. There's this whole like walking on eggshells vibe, and it doesn't really work for me either, And it's so like, don't say this, don't post
Right.
that. Oh, what if they think that? Like it just with the whole political thing. I mean, like, ooh, is so and so did you do or did you do? What's dinner going to be like if we,
Sure.
talked about this or that? And if people are just open and so I think this eggshell thing is so interesting.
Yeah, you have to be very careful and mindful of what you say. Well, I feel like I do, and I love that you don't feel that way too.
Yeah, it's like, do you?
It's funny because I have all of these, like, I guess they're personal catchphrases, but they're very popular ones, right? And one of them, and I say it a lot, especially in my stories when I'm talking on my Instagram page, I'll say something, maybe a little bit controversial, and then I'll immediately follow it up with, don't care, because I don't. And it's not that I don't care about people. And it's not that I don't care about feelings, but I don't care about being disingenuine, right? I can't be disingenuine. And so, if it thought provokes or if it makes you feel a certain sort of a way, that's actually a good thing. But then let's have a conversation about it. I don't know how to keep things inside. And I think that I'm healthier because of it. And again, it's not a just blurt out anything and everything. There is a time and a place. And there are certain topics, as you've mentioned, that we do have to be a little bit careful around. But for me, it's not eggshells. It's just more about, I do try to at least think before I speak. But the truth is that even in my thinking, I'm okay with saying whatever's about to come out of my mouth. And I know that I can own it. And I think that that's huge. You have to be able to own your words. And then again, going back to what I was saying previously, own the actionable outcome that potentially comes from it, good or bad, and then figure out what to do with it.
Yeah, that's really good advice because if you're going to put yourself out there, you need to be ready for what that entails. And so let's double click on this a little bit. So if you could, it's so important that we're making time to keep it real. Can you give our audience 3 actionable tips so they can just start incorporating this into their lives?
Sure. I think that knowing your truth is part of it. And so there's a lot of self-reflection then that needs to take place. I think that it's really, really important that we as women in particular know who we are. And that involves needing to sometimes find it. It doesn't always come intrinsically. And so taking the time to be able to really, really know what your plight is. And so it involves self-reflection. And then it involves being actionable on top of that. So once you have defined who you think you are and what you think your purpose is, then you have to go out and you have to do things that actually support that. And then the third thing for me is I make time for the people that make time for me. And I have another one of my little phrases, and it's, I will meet you where you are. And so if you are ready to go all in on our relationship or whatever our connection is, I'm all in. And if you're not ready for that, I can meet you where you are and be comfortable with that. I'm comfortable with it. Not everybody always is. And that's another one of those where I just have to be real to myself and just know that that's the best that I can do, because I also have to be a little bit self-protective too. That's one of the challenges with being as honest as I am, is that I'm really putting myself out there. And so I have to be kind and graceful to myself as well. So I make time for grace as well.
I mean, it's really like, sorry, like, I mean, it's really like just like the ultimate vulnerability, you know, like, because you're not only being like, you're being honest with yourself, but then you're being like completely honest with who you're dealing with.
Yeah. And I feel like social media is not many people put themselves out there. I think that there is this sort of way of presenting that might not always be accurate and true to who you are. So I admire you that you have that confidence to be able to just really say it like it is, own who you are. And I also think the importance of like knowing who we are. For me, it's like what are my whys, which then really help fuel my purpose. So I've become very sort of concrete in that over the past few years. Like I wouldn't say that I always was, but now I have, you know, whys and purpose, and I can kind of like stand in that.
Yeah, I want to double click on this a little bit because I think that, like, you know, I'm kind of a keeping it real girl too, you know, and but I think I know so many people that they're so scared, you know, like, well, what do they think, and what if they don't like me, and the what ifs, like, you know, or I should have, and I wish I would have, and all those things. And so I think for the women out there that really struggle with how people perceive them and are not necessarily that secure, right? Like that, and they're lacking that confidence. Like, can you set up just kind of like some baby steps for them so they could like,
sure. I love this.
yeah, so they can try, because I think it's some women are so scared to speak their truth. And so if you could kind of like gently give them a coach, that'd be awesome.
Because you know who that woman is? It's me. I really am. Like my New Year's resolution every year is not to let the fear stop me, because I am so fearful, right? I'm so fearful of saying the wrong thing. Sometimes I feel like, you know, you know, you don't want to make waves. And I've always just tried to be like neutral and Switzerland and, you know, just kind of be, I don't know where that came from. It's just to be more quiet as opposed to living out loud. So I love that question. And I would love to hear what you have to say.
Hello, lovely ladies. Are you ready to take charge of your wellness journey? Look no further than Make Time Wellness. We've worked tirelessly to develop delicious all-in-one drink mixes that make a woman's daily wellness easy and delicious. Make Time Wellness supplements offer comprehensive formulas for your brain, body, and beauty in that order, without having to take handfuls of pills. Make Time is packed with powerful ingredients like MCTs, omegas, biotin, multivitamins, and curcumin. Our formulas are designed for busy women by busy women. Check us out on maketimewellness.com/podcast20 and enjoy 20% off your first purchase. Make time for your brain, body, and beauty with Make Time Wellness.
I have two bits of advice there, and one is internal and then one is external. The internal is this idea of words of affirmation and positive speak, figuring out how to take the negative and to turn it into a positive, but fueling yourself and not being dependent upon other people to do it. And sometimes, I mean, it's literally standing in front of a mirror and saying, I'm wise, I'm kind, I'm smart, I'm capable, I'm beautiful, I am perfect just the way that I am, and literally speaking it or manifesting it into existence just within your own soul. And so I think that the way that we talk to ourselves really, really does start to then shape and mold how we present to the outer world. So if you can just start, and that's something that is actually easier said than done as well, right? And maybe you don't look in front of a mirror because maybe that makes you feel uncomfortable, but you just, you sit with yourself and you say positive things about yourself. And then the next thing is, and this is like another one of those little kitschy phrases, I've always subscribed to the philosophy of fake it till you make it. And I do that in all situations, whether it's a social situation, whether it's a professional situation. In every role I've ever taken, if I'm being honest and keeping it real, I've never been fully qualified for it, ever. I've always had some portion of the skill set that has attracted that opportunity to me, but I've never been the subject matter expert. However, I refuse to turn down an opportunity because you don't know what lies on the other side of it. And if you don't try, you're never going to find out. And so, you take that self-confidence that you've tried to instill in yourself, and then if you need to, you fake it. And eventually those little tiny actions become your reality. And no longer are you faking it, but now you're actually making it. I think that my Instagram page is a great example of that. I started it many, many years ago and got stuck at 1,000. I had 1,000 followers and I didn't know what to do with it. And I was a little bit apprehensive to just put myself out there because I didn't know how to niche down. I didn't want to niche down. I wanted to just be myself, and I'm multifaceted, right? And so I just thought, you know what? I'm going to create the content that I like, and I'm going to show up in the way that is genuine to me. And wouldn't you know it, from there, the people started to come, right? And so it was one of those where I had to talk myself into it. And then I had to just try it, even out of my comfort zone. And little by little, it became more and more comfortable. And now it's a place for me that just brings me so much joy. And so I don't see the negativity of kind of the social space because I refuse to engage in it. And I try to act as a, lightful beacon in that area and just know that I'm doing my part. So if you can talk good to yourself and be kind to yourself and show yourself that grace that we talked about earlier, and then just do it. Just put yourself out there, get uncomfortable, because it's in those areas where we really, really, we find out what we're capable of and we learn how to grow and thrive.
I've definitely faked it till I'm trying to make it. Yeah.
I feel like you're making it.
Well, thank you very much. I just put myself out there in uncomfortable situations.
What's the worst thing that can happen? That's what I always say. That's what I always tell my kids. What's the worst thing that can happen? Somebody can not like it. Somebody can tell you no. Don't care. Don't care.
I think, like I always say, well, I never really know what I'm doing. I say it constantly, but I'll figure it out, And so I think it's like kind of the commitment to figuring it out. And I'm constantly signing up for things, which I have no clue how to do. But, it's the figure out bone. I think that's really important. And I have a very strong figure it out bone. I'm kind of unstoppable in that regard.
I love that you said unstoppable. I love that.
If anybody can figure it out.
What a wonderful way to think of yourself.
Yeah. I mean, some things can stop you, but in career and social things and yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I think, we as women are problem solvers. We really do figure it out. And that's what we do.
Yeah.
That's what we can do.
We just started this podcast. Let's have a podcast.
Yeah, totally. I set up the lights.
Yeah.
Set up our little
That's
lights.
Amazing.
Yeah, little thing. And here we are.
We just figure it out. We just do it.
You just do it. Exactly. You just do it.
So we could talk and learn from wonderful people like you. That was really the basis of the whole Make Time, just to encourage women to make time to do different things, try different stuff, and learn from different people so we can all really make time for each other. So I know that, we got connected with you because we had sent you a box of our brand Make Time Wellness. And I know it really, I just want to make sure that we touch on this today. And it really landed with you. And so first of all, Make Time, our mission is to get the world thinking seriously about women's brain health, because 1 out of 5 women will get some form of Alzheimer's. And I know that landed personally with you. So first of all, I just wanted to send my heart to you in that capacity. And, we were so happy that we could connect in that way.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And we had talked about it, before we began here. I had a super special person that had a dementia diagnosis kind of later in life, but we saw many, many signs of it early on. And that was my grandmother. And I would say single-handedly, she is the most influential person that I've, come into. It's even hard to talk about her, to tell you the truth. But the most influential person in my life, and not because she, instilled all of this education in me. It's just because she was probably the most real person that I've ever met. And I think that I must have inherited that from her. And so, her being so strong-minded and so vivacious for so many years, and in the formative parts of my life, it was very, very challenging to watch some of that be downgraded based on her diagnosis and what was happening to her cognitively. And so I feel as though, even though she's passed on, she's still very much here with me, and she sends me signs constantly. And so, quite frankly, I just made the connection when the package came in, and I just knew instantly that not only was that just like a little sign from her, but it was also giving me an idea around how I can continue to honor her, but do it in a way that influences people to think about their brain health and to be actionable on it. And so it married so perfectly for me, because obviously I wasn't going to create the product, but being able to be a part of the mission, even in the smallest of ways, just feels like another opportunity for me to honor her.
Yeah, we loved your social content around it, because, we really, over at Make Time Wellness, we want women to start thinking about their brains, because no one is speaking to us about our brains. And, for me, I was experiencing brain fog. This was, a couple of years ago, and I just kept getting dismissed from my doctor over and over and over again. So, we really think it's important to educate and empower women that when they go into the doctor, your doctor's probably not going to ask you about your brain, but you can ask your doctor about your brain.
Yeah. And so I have a very similar grandmother story, the same story. And I think that, I just think that as women, if we were to get together, women are so powerful, and just start having this conversation and just start talking about brain health, why it's so important, and just some of the things we can do to support our brain to prevent or delay an Alzheimer's or dementia diagnosis. Like, we are so powerful as a community that that's what it takes. So we're so thankful for you sharing the story with us about your grandmother. It really is. This is why we're doing this. And so I thank you.
Right. I also, but again, there is so many things that we can do for our brain that can really make a positive impact. And like you said, delay, if not even reverse. There's so much incredible, there's just great studies and so many things coming out about the brain and how we can support it and what we can do. It's just women don't know. No. They just don't know. So
absolutely. And it's why platforms like this do become so powerful. And you get people, everyday people, to be able to join in the movement and use their little spaces and places in the world to be able to kind of spread that awareness. And it really is one of those grassroots type of movements that, to your point, is not being talked about when we go in to have our exams, or quite frankly, even when we're in a therapist's office. We don't talk about it amongst each other. We joke about it. There's a lot of joking about, oh, I can't remember. Oh, I'm forgetting. But we're not getting real about what we can do. And it's more than just, things that we can take to help us. It's also about the ingestion, quite frankly, of media. Not doing the doom scrolling and finding ways to keep yourself and your brain healthy by thinking, right? As opposed to just consuming and all of the intake. There's an output that needs to be happening on a regular basis. And if people were even just aware of that, of, hey, those extra 30 minutes a day that you have, instead of scrolling and looking at somebody else's life, listen to a podcast, learn something, get that brain actively functioning and really, really moving versus, just kind of sitting there and disintegrating.
You were talking earlier about connection, and that is so important for our brains, is that being able to connect, like us having this conversation with you and, Helen and I getting to see each other for work, but also for pleasure, and just that the importance of being together, communicating, spending time with each other is vital.
Absolutely. Just the serotonin and the dopamine hit alone you get from hanging with your girlfriends. I mean, that's helping your brain health.
So let's talk a little bit more about making time. What are you not making time for right now that you're going to commit to make more time for today?
I'm not making time to limit my yeses. I say yes to a lot of things. And it's not that I even necessarily need to say no as much as I need to do a little bit better of a job at prioritizing and not just mushing everything into the same category. Oftentimes for me, everything gets an equal priority because I feel like anything that I say yes to, it's because I'm passionate about it. And so I do think that I need to make time to prioritize those yeses and also be okay with occasionally saying no.
One thing I do there, and this is me, because I'm always like, I'm on a hamster wheel constantly. And I have been practicing the not now and kind of enrolling people in my life as to the why. And say like, look, like I'm in a really heavy travel schedule right now. And so I'm doing a lot of not nows. Not now. I have a really packed month, but let's make a priority to really connect like later in the summer, spend some great time together. And so the not now really helped me with that.
I love that.
Where'd you find that?
I just made that up.
That's really good.
I mean, not now, but I've been not right this second, but it's what I've been practicing because it's like when you're literally like, when I know I'm walking into these, like I sign up for this stuff too, it's not like it's done to me. So I sign up for this stuff. And I think like going into it, like just recently, I've just been gone for like a month and I had to sit down with my husband and say like, okay, like when can we incorporate you into this? And so we can make sure to have some time, because of course my relationship with him is important. And then there's people in my life where I've had to really like, not now, like some of my girlfriends, some of the regular things I do, like I have to take a pass. This is why, and let's circle back and do something amazing, come late June, so the not now conversation I think is really, because it's not like, you're not like dismissing someone, like saying no is fine too, right? Like I'm not saying that no one should say no. Everyone should exercise their no and their yes, but the not now is just a nice, like you can kick the ball down the road with love and then set yourself up for success later.
Yeah. It's not like a hard no for your friend. It's just that, and you explain to them, right? Like you let them know that like it's a busy season right now and I really want to spend that time with you, but not now.
Yeah.
Not now. It's a good one.
Yeah. So that's been my thing lately.
Not now.
I've been not knowing a lot. So I'm getting ready to go back into my yes season. So really, Renee, I have really enjoyed talking to you. I love your content. How do people that are watching this podcast find you?
Sure. I would say the easiest way to find me is on Instagram. And so my handle on Instagram is Renee Keeps It Real. Real is spelled though REEL, because that's kind of what kicked this entire thing off, was me creating these reels. And quite frankly, the REAL was already taken. So I had to get creative there. So Renee Keeps It Real.
The spin on the Instagram reel is
Very cute.
So that's good. It might be even a better name for Instagram.
For sure.
I appreciate it.
All right. Well, we're so thankful. Thank you so much for coming on and just breaking it down so women can make time to keep it a little more real in their life. And we appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us today. We hope that listening to our podcast has empowered you to make more time for yourself. So please remember to subscribe and share with a friend who could also use a healthy reminder on the importance of making time.
Make sure to tune in as we will continue to have incredible guests that will share their Make Time tips on our upcoming episodes. Come say hi to us over on @MakeTimePod on social media or visit us at MakeTimeWellness.com.
Until next time, make time.